I'm with the company for the last, just now my colleague and us, we shared how long we've been with the company. I've been with the company for, this is my 9th year and reaching my 10th year next year. Well, I think our vision in terms of hotel development is to grow the brand in a strategic keyway city in China. And not only in China, we're also looking at strategic location around the world, as any companies that wants to fly the flag in terms of our presence, in terms of our awareness. Briefly, at the moment, MNC, sometimes we call ourselves MNC, sometimes we call ourselves MCIL. It depends where we are, where we want to be. In Singapore, we call ourselves MCIL. In China, we call ourselves MNC. In London, it's MNC. We own at the moment 120 hotels in about 18 countries, around 41, 42 cities, totaling about 26,000 rooms. I think this figures, it's just relative. Sometimes we've grown over 27,300 rooms. When you look at the compositions in US, Europe, Middle East, and Asia and the United States almost balance itself, about 7,700 rooms that we have. But obviously, in Asia Pacific, the growth is much faster than the United States and Europe itself. And in New Zealand, we represent, out of every 10 hotels in New Zealand, 3 of them belongs to the company. I'm sure you're all aware of the company, MCIL. Do you? You are. Okay. All right. Otherwise, I can explain more. Now, in terms of revenue, you can see the growth between 2006 and 2007. The majority of growth is also in Asia Pacific, representing from 29% of our hotel revenue to 31%. The overall growth as a company in terms of revenue, we have increased our total revenue by about 8%. Occupancy, again, you look at Europe, Asia, we're looking at a higher occupancy of close to 80%. A growth also between 2006 and 2007. So the majority of our revenue, profitability, occupancy is derived from Asia Pacific region. I want to introduce you to the various brands that we have. The brands is quite easy. We have 4 quite distinctive brands. The Grand Millennium has started this year. We'll be having about 4 Grand Millennium within the company. Millenium is our standard brand, a key brand itself. And then comes to the Copthorne and the Kingsgate. Copthorne and Kingsgate, we're looking at between 3 to 4 star property. It depends on the region, it depends on the location and the type of hotel, where is the market, what brands that we need to propose to the developers and the owners. Is it a Grand Millennium? Is it a Millennium? Is it a Copthorne? Is it a Kingsgate? But as you can see, most of the Grand Millennium company is asset-based, is our own assets. We have equity, strong equities in those Grand Millennium that we operate. In terms of MCIL, although we have 180 hotels, you can realize that almost more than 90% of these hotels we are the major investors. That means we are owner-operators as well. We're looking at about, out of 120 hotels, between 18 to 20 hotels are managed by other companies. Just a very quick brief on all the hotels. We have Americas for the Millenniums, Europe, France, Middle East, Asia, Singapore, Thailand, spread all over the globe. In terms of Copthorne, we look at Europe, Middle East, the New Zealand properties, Asia, as well as Singapore. In Singapore, we are not allowed to use the Millennium brand in terms of licensing issues. And Kingsgate, most of the Kingsgate property are in New Zealand. This is another brand that we can develop in terms of working with partners for budget type of hotels we can roll out in the future. The recent announcement is that we have 2 properties in India, and we are developing 6 more properties in India. In terms of my responsibility, I'm responsible for hotel development within the company. Some of the processes we have is about 6 to 7 steps, the majority of which, in terms of summary, we look at feasibilities and presentation of business plan to potential owners and developers, whereby then we formalize all the agreements through MOU, technical services, management contracts, and marketing arrangements. Once we formalize it, we will have to sit down with the owner to conceptualize the type of hotel that we have, the brand that we want to use in terms of the marketplace, the location, the type of architecture, the type of area program we have within the hotel, how many, what's the size of the rooms, the different types of room metrics, consultants that we recommend to the developer, architects, kitchen consultants, type of F&B restaurants, interior designers. So all this come to play in terms of hotel development. Once this is finalized, then we do a forecast budget to various owners. If we are the owners as well, internally we have to internalize all the forecasts in terms of return on investments, revenue projection. Then the whole construction phase of hotel development takes about maybe 2 or 3 years. So in terms of hotel development, we look at a gestation period between, the fastest is 2 years, perhaps up to 4 to 5 years, depending on the size of the hotel. I can give you one example that was very fast track, and that was when we took over and decided to put equity for the development of our Millennium Resort in Patong, Phuket. From conception of signing to the delivery of the hotel opening took us only 18 months. And that's, we're talking about 400 room hotels with 2 wings. In terms of length, sometimes it takes as long as 4 years. What depends on how we work along with contractors, developers, interior designers, and all the other deliveries. All the new projects we have, the focus, the concentration are in China. Okay. China, we have all this development, which I will elaborate later. In India, I've talked about, we have 2 hotels now, with 6 coming on board. In Taiwan, we will have about at least one hotel we've signed in, with another potential coming up. One is in Taichung, which we signed, the other one is Alisan, which we are negotiating. In Vietnam, we are looking at, of course, Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. Briefly, the Singapore hotels we have at the moment, we have 5 hotels. The Grand Copthorne Waterfront, the M Hotel, Orchard Hotel, the Copthorne Orchid, as well as the King's Hotel. Development in Thailand this year, we have opened up the Grand Millennium Sukhumvit. It's one of our Grand Millennium property where we have huge equity there, which we manage this property. It's a very modern hotel along Asok Road. 325 rooms and suite, banquet facilities with 2 ballrooms. Each ballrooms seat about between 500, 600 person. Very interesting F&B concept. A restaurant that's a fusion between Japanese and Italian, and a cafe restaurant that's primarily focused on a different type of Thai cuisines. Thai cuisine in terms of mountain cuisine, seafood cuisine, and authentic farmer cuisine. Business center, spas and facilities, swimming pool. I would say, it's a very contemporary, modern Thai hotel. Also in December last year, between December last year and January this year, we opened our first Millennium Resort in Patong, Phuket. This consists of 2 wings. One is a beachside, one is a lakeside. Again, this program was fast-tracked. We opened this hotel within an 18-month period from a very dilapidated building into a hotel itself. 2 hotels totaling about 400 rooms because of 2 wings spread around. A very beautiful spa operation, 2 swimming pool, 2 bars, and 2 restaurants in a very multi-complex environment. It's one of the biggest shopping and destination complexes in Patong. We have supermarkets, bowling, cinema, restaurants, convention area. In China, we are looking at of course, Beijing, which I'll explain later. Then we have in Shanghai a property just across the road. Looking at 1 other properties within the next 2 to 3 years. Chengdu opening this year. Taipei maybe in 2 years' time. And I just introduced some of the new development here. Millennium Chengdu. Millennium Chengdu is going to be a very residential corporate hotel. This was due to open in October this year. We have been on this project over the last 2 to 3 years. 5-star hotel consists of 363 rooms, 1 bistro dining, 1 bar area, a banquet facilities, Chinese restaurant with private dining room, 1 whole level of service offices, a beautiful spa, swimming pool, and a wellness center. Now, in terms of size in Chengdu, this is quite different from the Shangri-La, the Crown Plaza, the Sheraton, which are all big and massive hotels. Because of the location in the neighborhood, in a very affluent neighborhood, our concept for this hotel is really more residential, but aiming at the corporate market. It's halfway between the airport and the city center. Although MCIL is a big hotel, it's not a small hotel group. Our development relative to other brands within the bigger chain, our development is relatively small, and we are very careful in where we are and how we do our development. We will also have a property in Wuxi, due to open also sometimes September, October this year. It consists of a huge development of 4 service apartments and 1 hotel building. The interesting part of this hotel is everything is focused towards the Japanese market. We are looking at about a market of about 80% Japanese. So all the rooms, in terms of the room styles, the restaurant styles, the lifestyle program we have in this hotel, and the management team that we put in this hotel is focusing on the Japanese market. At the moment, we're looking at 320 rooms, but we are getting approval permit to increase this hotel to around 400 rooms to create some executive floors. Bistro dining, a bar, banquet facilities, Chinese restaurant, Japanese restaurant, a lifestyle arcade. A lifestyle arcade is where all the Japanese supermarket will be there, Japanese bookshops will be there, Japanese kindergarten will be around there. So the focus on this hotel is towards the Japanese market. And also the service apartment, all done in the style of Japanese. The development we have now is our flagship in China will be the Grand Millennium Beijing, which actually soft opened yesterday. This will consist of 520 rooms in a very centralized location and will be our main focus on all the development in China. There's 21 rooms and suite with cafe, brasserie, Havana bar, lobby lounge, Chinese restaurant, convention facilities, indoor swimming pool, a spa by IT&amp, and gymnasium. It's right in front of a park. In terms of, there's a rail link, underground rail link from the hotel to the airport. Location, convenience, the grandeur of the hotel, everything is emphasized in this flagship of ours. If you have the chance, please, if you're in Beijing, come and visit us. We just soft opened yesterday. Our grand opening is scheduled for June, somewhere towards the end of June. In terms of our presence, hotel currently operating apart from Grand Millennium Beijing is the Shanghai property that we have in Hongqiao. This was opened, I think, early last year, just across the road. It consists of about 370 rooms, cafe, lobby, grill, Chinese restaurant, dining room, banquet facilities, meeting facilities, indoor swimming pool, spa, and gymnasium. Now, most of the facilities you see are similar, but in terms of conceptualizing a hotel, each hotel is quite different depending on the market situation. Let's say we talk about restaurants. Chinese restaurant is a Chinese restaurant, but not all Chinese restaurants are the same. We have service officers over here in Shanghai. We will have service officers in Chengdu. It suits a marketplace, and each service officer is targeted a different market. Here may be the corporate market for Hongqiao. In Chengdu, we are targeted corporate officers and small consulate officers because there are many consulate officers in Chengdu. Spas again are different. You may have spas in Wuxi, you may have spas in Chengdu, spas in Shanghai, and spas in Beijing. But each spa market focus is again different. In Wuxi, the beauty of the spa is primarily aimed at the Japanese market. In Chengdu is aimed at the ladies market. So the design of the spa is totally different. In Beijing, the spa and the beauty is aimed at the offices that surrounding the building. So although you see some of the programs that we have are similar, but in effect, if you look individually, it's catering to a different market. Recently, we also rebranded our Xiamen property. This was the old Crown Plaza, and Crown Plaza used to be a property run by Crown Plaza. We've taken over and rebranded as Millenium in Xiamen. The other properties that we have signed up is our new project in Taichung, which we hope that we can open this hotel within the next 2 to 3 years. This is the architecture plan of the hotel, but we have changed as of last week this architecture because we find this architecture to be too boutique-y. Because Millennium, if this is going to be Millennium, we want it to have a more corporate identity rather than a boutique identity. Having said that, in terms of architecture, the interior are more or less the same. This we can't change because of the building code. It will be 24 stories with about 6 basement level. So we conceptualize this hotel into what type of banquet facilities there, what type of ballroom, what type of entertainment center, what type of restaurants, how many room type it is. The other property we have in China is the Copthorne. It was the Equatorial Qingdao, and we rebranded this to a Copthorne. Other developments that we're looking at the moment, currently negotiating, is for a second property in Beijing and also a third property in Beijing. This one we are in the final stages of negotiating now, is towards the west side of Beijing. The other development we are looking at in Shanghai, we're looking at second property. This will be another key flagship property in China. Beijing we talked about, a third hotel in Beijing, and of course in Singapore we have other developments. Apart from the Singapore island itself, we're also looking at Sentosa Island. That comes to the conclusion of my presentation. If there's any questions I would like to ask me, I'll try to answer.